Yesterday was a mess. Today wasn't perfect, but it was the kind of day that reminds me that I'm actually capable of trading with discipline. That said, I still don't feel like I've proven anything. At this point, I won't believe I've truly turned a corner until my maximum daily loss rule is tested, and more importantly, honored. Last night I relaxed, got a good night's sleep, and this morning I purposely took things slow before the open. That made it surprisingly easy to just watch the market the first 30 minutes instead of feeling like I needed to jump in right away. My first trade came at 9:03 when I bought 25 shares of Tesla. A few minutes later, I entered Apple with 50 shares and shortly after increased my Tesla position to 50 shares as it continued finding support near the lower VWAP bands, none of which felt emotional or reckless. They were planned decisions that stayed within my position sizing rules, and as I continued throughout the morning, I noticed something interesting. I wasn't rushing trades, but I could feel myself wanting to keep finding the next opportunity. At that point, I grabbed my notebook and wrote one word: patience, which became my focus for the rest of the morning. Around 9:30 this morning, I entered Amazon with 25 shares before adding another 25 as it also appeared to be holding support. Shortly afterward, Amazon became my only losing position though. While Tesla and Apple had me comfortably in the green, my attention kept drifting towards the one red trade, which is when I made my first mistake. Instead of simply accepting the position or waiting for a reversal, I ended up buying 3 Amazon call options set to expire in a few days. It was by no means a disaster, but it wasn't disciplined either. Around 10 a.m., I found myself holding 50 shares of Tesla, Apple, and Amazon, along with those 3 Amazon call options. Nothing completely out of control, but I was definitely starting to push the edges of my comfort zone. After yesterday's performance, I also knew I was not interested in seeing how far I could stretch things. So I decided to lock in $80 gains from Tesla, $60 on Apple, $50 on the Amazon options, and sell the Amazon shares for a small loss and wrap up the day. Or at least that was the plan. At 10:15, I spotted one more Tesla setup and convinced myself it was worth taking, which ended up working, bringing my total gains for the day to $250. But that's not the point. One of the hardest disciplines to master isn't knowing when to enter, it's knowing when to finish. While the final trade put more money in the account, the decision to enter one more trade after telling myself it was time to start closing cost me points in my walk away discipline category. I also lost 6 points for buying the Amazon options and scored myself a 5 in average down discipline. While I never chased price or averaged down recklessly, I did find myself adding those last 25 shares several times when the more disciplined decision probably would have been to just wait. Even with those mistakes, today's discipline score came in at an 8.1, which I am proud of, but I also refuse to celebrate too much. I've earned good scores before only to completely unravel the next day. More importantly, I still haven't answered what I believe is the biggest question of this entire project. What happens when I'm finally losing? Will I finally respect my $250 maximum daily loss rule? As I noticed earlier, it's relatively easy to be disciplined when I'm making money. But the real discipline is when everything is moving against me and still cut my losses before they mount to something much harder to recover from. I really don't want to lose tomorrow, but if I do, I hope it's finally the day I can prove to myself that I'm changing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow after the close.